Hey guys, Ben here and welcome back to another video on The Flash Season 9. Today we're going to be talking about the series finale. We have a new post from Canada Graphs on his Patreon that reveals our first good look at the Red Savitar, plus lots of other villains from the past that are returning. So if you do go on to enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future DCTV videos later this year. Okay, so this is coming from Canada Graphs. The link will be in the description below to his Patreon post. I made a video yesterday where I went over his other Patreon post, and by that time I hadn't seen the Savitar photos. Some of you guys probably saw it in my previous video. I did pop it in there, but I did say that I would make a Savitar separate video about these photos and discuss all the other villains. And so in yesterday's video I discussed that Cobalt Blue is officially confirmed. We broke down the first look images of Cobalt Blue as Eddie Thawne or Malcolm Thawne or whoever it turns out to be, and so that is very interesting. Go check out that video if you haven't checked out already. But even more exciting in my opinion is the fact that we're getting all these returning villains, these returning speedsters specifically from the Flash's past. Now this could very well be the last set we see out in the public, so they certainly saved the biggest one till last, and we have Team Flash facing off against this team of speedster villains. So this season they're really going all in with these kind of rogues team ups, right? Now you have this ultimate speedster team up versus Team Flash, and early in the season at the moment we've got Red Death and the other rogues facing off against Barry and his good rogues. But for now, let's go ahead and look at the first photo. So the first photo, from right to left, you can see Teddy Sears as Zoom, and then you can see Rick Kosnet as Cobalt Blue, and then right next to him you have a big looming and extremely tall Savitar, who is played by a stunt double, I would presume, because Barry is on the set, so Grant is there. And then to the left of him is in fact Tom Cavanagh as Reverse Flash. Yesterday I unknowingly said that this was actually Matt Letcher. Turns out this is Tom Cavanagh. Canada Graphs has confirmed this. And then to the left of him you have a stunt double playing Godspeed. And so this is the team up that you're getting. Now what's most interesting about this? Well, this first photo showcases the whole team. That is like the coolest thing. But also in the photo you can see someone that looks like Dreamer in the middle facing off against Savitar and Reverse Flash, but apparently that's actually Cecile. So yeah, Cecile's got like some sort of new costume. I know there were some photos that came out recently, and it seems like, yes, Cecile is going to somehow be facing off against Savitar and Reverse Flash, which I have no idea how she's going to face off against them. You guys remember how powerful they are, especially Savitar. He is the literal god of speed along with Godspeed, and obviously Reverse Flash has untapped connections to the negative speed force, and since he is back and he's not dead, you can presume he's still connected to that negative speed force, and maybe he is the negative speed force avatar once again. And so the next photo we get a closer look at Zoom, and now Teddy Sears is actually under here. He is in the costume. Obviously he's a big fan of the Flash show and he had a great time playing Zoom and Hunter Solomon in the past, so he's clearly all down to be in the costume even if he takes his mask off just a couple of times. So that's actually Teddy Sears right there, and wow, I am so excited to see Zoom. Now I have to say personally, Savitar and Zoom are my favorite villains along with the Reverse Flash. Obviously we've seen the Reverse Flash more, so I would say personally I'm most excited to see out of all the returning characters Zoom and Savitar, but you can literally not even see Teddy Sears' eyes, so you can tell this is scary. This is going to be scary, and I really do look forward to seeing this, and it's just so great seeing the Zoom costume out in the wild. And so we have Cobalt Blue next to him. He's kind of smiling a little bit, so you can tell he's definitely the mastermind behind this villain team up, and he's kind of smirking. He knows he's powerful and he knows that he's got a great team on his side. The next photo is another showcase of our characters, but specifically let's talk about Savitar, because as it's very evident and as everyone has pointed out, this is not the normal colored version of Savitar that we saw back in season 3. Normally Savitar is blue, And in these photos, yes, they're using the practical suit, which they did in fact have back in season 3, but it was kind of near to the end of the season when they used it. I think it's amazing that they actually have a stunt double in this suit. It's just one of the best suits that they've ever invented for the show. It's so creative. And they've turned on the lights within inside of him, and it's actually red. Now, what does this red Savitar signify? Now, I have a few theories here, hear me out, but I think the first one's pretty good. So, we have actually seen a red version of Savitar one time before, and that was near to the end of season 3 when Barry phased through him and his colors changed from blue to red. Now, I have a theory, because we need to think about how all these villains are here at this one moment in time, and we've seen from past episodes that Cobalt Blue is going to be time traveling. So I think a very solid theory, and I think a lot of people are going to be thinking about this, is I'm pretty sure Cobalt Blue has picked out all of our different characters from the past. I don't think that these are characters that have been resurrected or anything. I think they're all supposed to die, the ones that are actually dead. So that being Savitar, Reverse Flash, Eddie, but again, we don't know what version of Cobalt Blue this is. Godspeed's in prison, so he's not dead, so that's a bit easier for him. And then also Zoom could be alive because back in the 100th episode, he got knocked out of the timeline. Maybe it's that version of Zoom. However, I'm pretty sure with Cobalt Blue time traveling, he's going to pick out all of these specific Speedster villains from the past that have a strong hatred of Barry, and he's going to bring them all to the present to face off against Team Flash and obviously enact his vision for whatever he's trying to do. Like maybe it's just to kill Barry or it's to get back at him. We'll have to wait and see what his actual motivations are. But there is a chance that with Savitar being red, what happens if Cobalt Blue has gone back to that exact same night and he stole him from his own timeline just after Barry phased through him? So that would give you the excuse for why Savitar is red. Yes, he looks more menacing and that could just be like a stylistic choice. But knowing Eric Wallace and knowing the show, they're going to have to be more specific about that. They know they're going to have to explain it. So that's why we're theorizing about it, because there is an explanation for why Savitar isn't blue, but he is red. So that's one idea, that he was stolen from his timeline and brought to the present just after Barry phased through him. Another theory could be that it's just not the normal Savitar that we've seen before. Potentially, there is a chance that Savitar, when he originally became Savitar, obviously this is Pizza Face Barry we're talking about, had a red mechanized suit that he used to use, but then eventually changed it to a kind of blue suit that we saw him using throughout the entirety of season 3 of The Flash. So maybe the original Savitar first had red colors on his suit, and maybe he will have red lightning. Now, I don't think it would make any sense for him to have blue or kind of whitish lightning like he had before if his actual suit color has changed. And if you think like that, that makes you wonder, does he have a connection now to the negative Speed Force just like Reverse Flash? There's always the chance that somehow he's tapped into the negative Speed Force, and maybe that's how he got started. Obviously, he is a time remnant of Barry, but we don't know if it's the exact same Savitar that we've seen before, so something else could have happened in this Savitar's timeline, in which maybe he got access to the negative Speed Force. So that's just another theory. But I do feel pretty confident about like either one of these, that maybe he's tapped into negative Speed Force, maybe this just was original Savitar, or this is Savitar who was stolen from the timeline after Barry phased through him in season 3 because of all the timeline and time travel stuff that's going to be happening to do with Eddie in this season. And I guess we have to ask, is this Crisis related? Because a lot of stuff is because of Crisis. They like to use that as an excuse for characters coming back, characters being different, so I guess that would give them a good excuse to change Savitar if they wanted to, but I don't really have like any linking theories to that. I think that's just a possibility that I had to bring up to you because I think most of us are probably thinking about that as well. So let me know down in the comments below, do you think Savitar is actually going to have red lightning? Because I think that's going to be very cool on screen to see him like that and running alongside Reverse Flash as well. And so actually we have one final shot that I wanted to go over from Canada Graphs. This is a really awesome shot. It's a wider shot. Obviously he's moved angles and you can see the smoke behind the characters. It just looks kind of epic, seeing the glow of Savitar's eyes and the kind of silhouettes of the other villains as they face off against Team Flash. And from what I can see in these photos, we know that we have not Nia now, even though it looks like her dreamer suit is actually Cecile, as I mentioned before. And she is joined by Allegra, who is seemingly next to her. And then beyond them, you have some other characters, including Barry, including Keon, and it seems like Mark is back and is on their side. I can't see Chester anywhere here, so he's probably just monitoring the situation and probably freaking out that all these Speedster villains are back at this one moment. And as well, we have Nora here, so Nora is going to be the other Speedster helping out in this situation. I don't know if Iris is here, I can't make her out. Let me know if you do spot her in any of the photos. But that pretty much does it for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and shout out to Canada Graphs for getting these photos because they obviously reveal a lot. We don't know exactly what's happening with the story, so keep an open mind going into this, but I think this is going to be a Flash War story to end the show, and I think it's going to be epic because you have all these fan favorite Speedster villains returning. Just look at Zoom, look at Savitar, Tom Cavanaugh back as Reverse Flash one more time, as well as Godspeed. Plus, we have our first look at Cobalt Blue in this new season. It's been a long time since we originally started theorizing about Cobalt Blue coming to the show, because that was always a fan pick that we thought was coming, and it's finally coming in the final season. So for now, if you did enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos. Also, all of this really helps out the channel. But for now, click on the top right corner of the screen to watch my latest video, and I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.
I see red.